What up, Buckeye Nation? Welcome to the Scoop. Got a big show planned for you guys tonight. I'm pumped to be here, man. Nevada and Sports Talk Jay is joining us tonight. We got a packed show, man. Going to go over some Michigan drama. Like always, they're up to no good. That place is burning down as we speak. Literally, I think firefighters are on the way there. Can't confirm that, but that's what I heard. Jim Knowles, Tennessee defensive coordinator now. We'll talk about that a little bit tonight with Jay. The Legend Bay saga, obviously, Tennessee, Ohio State, Tennessee, Ohio State. Ohio State is where he ends up. We'll dive into that. And we're going to get a little insight for the game start tomorrow on where we think these brackets, how they're going to shake out, man. But before we get into that, do me a favor. You guys have been killing it, man. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well. And tonight is a good night for the super chats. They go to our Pay It Forward to help out our veterans because they help us out every single day. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcast, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and get in the chat, man. If you've never been in this chat, you can see about 30 minutes before this thing started, they're in there just blowing it up. Steely's leading the charge in there. I see you guys in there. Drink, Mark, Ed, Troy, Liz, and 100 other ones. I can't name y'all off, but this is going to be a fire show. I'm excited. Let's go ahead and bring on Nevada and Sports Talk Jay. We're going to stick with Jay for tonight. Jay, what's good, my man? How are you?
Hey, man, rocking and rolling and whatnot. This has been a crazy several weeks, really. Go ahead, though.
Yeah, it has. Nevada, how about you, man? You got that drive up to 300 yet, or what you working with?
No, I'm on the show now with Jay, who was the freaking captain of the UT golf team, and Devin, the long drive champion of Northern Florida. And I don't even know what to say to you guys. Like, I'm feeling kind of insufficient. You guys are like, oh yeah, I shot 74 and I was mad and I broke my clubs. And I'm like, man, if I ever shot 74, I'd like scream and run into the thing and buy everybody drinks in the clubhouse. So I'm feeling a little insecure tonight. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Well, I mean, before I hit live, I was giving Nevada a couple lessons here or there, feeling good about my golf game. Then Jay decides to get on and say he's a scratch golfer, captain of the UT golf team. So now I'm no longer like the best golfer on the show. And I took a lot of pride in that. So I don't know if I'm going to do a very good job hosting tonight because of that. That's really got to me. But I think we're going to survive, man. I think we're going to survive. Jay, seriously, man, appreciate all the support you've given us. I came on your show a while back, gave some Jim Knowles information. I'm curious to hear Nevada's take on that, but we'll get to that shortly. But let's start off with the Michigan saga. It is so hard to keep track of everything. You've done a phenomenal job on your show as well, man. But the latest, Sharon Moore, got something for you guys. This is not AI. This is pure right here. Here it is. This is his mugshot. We know everything going on there. They're in the loops, searching for a coach right now. I mean, just a complete chaos. Nevada, why don't you start us off, man? Just where are we at now, man? What are we thinking? Is there more stuff going to continue to come out of what they got going on over there?
Well, what's going to come out of the investigation is, obviously the knives are out for Ward Manuel right now. They're, just building their case for a for-cause firing of Ward Manuel, and he'll ride off into the sunset. As for the coaching search, there are a lot of people right now that are very concerned that it's going to end up being Biff Poggi, that Biff Poggi is going to be the last man standing, the only guy to be willing to take the job. I think they're pretty much down to Dillingham or Poggi. Everybody else is kind of, literally the only two people they have not offered the job to are Sports Talk Jay and Devin. But everybody else has said, I ain't going to that place. And they just keep holding on to hope, though. They're like, hey, I know Caitlin DeBoer told us no, but maybe, just maybe we'll go up there in terms of doing it. But, they've got a situation with an interim president, with an AD 1 foot out the door, with a roster with not a lot of talent on it, and with a schedule. I said this the other night on our show, but the coach at Michigan is measured by one game, and that's beating Ohio State. And unfortunately, Ohio State's the 10,000-pound gorilla college football. That's not the one game you want to be measured on, especially with Julian saying J.J. Smith heading into his final year and the game in Columbus next year. So lots to think about.
Yeah, Jay, it's interesting because obviously we get a lot of trolls on our show because we're the rival of Michigan. So a lot of people like use that as almost an excuse to think what we're saying is fabricated. We making things up, all these things. And I find it interesting. You know, you're an SEC guy, Tennessee guy. You seem to care about this. You want to tell us a little bit about that, your thoughts about what is going on, and based off of, you know, the things that you see, the things that you hear, is it just Ohio State fans that are and should be bothered by this, or should all of college football be paying attention to what's going on over there right now?
First of all, everybody in the Big Ten cares. I can promise you that because they got cheated for almost 3 years. So I know they care, and I can tell you plenty of Tennessee fans and Clemson fans care because they know they got cheated. And this entire band of miscreants up there and this Ward Manuel cat, I would fire him so fast. I mean, I can't even. That's where you start. You got rid of the Ono dude, which is also a good move, and bring in some people with some ethics and that care about competition being fair and things along those lines, and quit this coddling of this nonsense of win at all cost, even if you have to. What's happened at Michigan, we've never seen it. We've never seen anything like this where you've got guys getting indicted, arrested. I mean, we're not talking about just breaking NCAA 6 level 1 rules. We're talking about like serious crap going on up there. And it's like, well, as long as we're winning, as long as we're beating Ohio State, everything's fine. Just keep it down. It'll be. Then finally they lose, and all of a sudden things start breaking loose.
Yeah, it's wild over there. And the crazy thing about it is, you brought it up. I mean, there's 7 coaches have been arrested, and it feels like it's never going to end because even out of this Sharon Moore stuff, right, there's more smoke coming out about Quorum and some LLC, some other things that Sharon Moore was doing. Like, this thing doesn't end. And the next question I would have about this is, what I find interesting is now all of a sudden, you know, Yahoo dropped a really good article on this. Finally, the national media is covering this like they should have done during the sign stealing gate. But anyway, Michigan is now all of a sudden launched this investigation now after 7 coaches arrested, after Matt Weiss, after all these things. Now they want to launch an investigation. We keep talking about Ward Manuel and they need to get rid of him. They got rid of their president. But how about who is launching this investigation? What about those people? Who is above Ward Manuel? Who is hiring these guys? Who makes the decision whether to hire or fire or keep a hold of or fire Ward Manuel? Do we think it goes deeper into that? And if that's the case, I mean, does it get fixed? I mean, can it get fixed? Does it get fixed? Because I find it hard to believe, if Ward Manuel is still around, that those people making that decision to keep him around are people that are willing, right, to clean house, like what should have been done a long time ago.
Well, look, the problem that I have is that the investigation is being handled by a hand-picked group. It was the same group that had done the initial investigation of Sharon Moore. It's a Michigan-based firm, 8 Michigan partners, maize and blue are their colors. I mean, so what kind of a serious investigation? This isn't like they went to some third party and said, hey, do a top-down review of what's going on in Michigan athletics and give us the really. They don't want the really. All they want is a case to fire Ward Manuel to get out of $6.75 million and shove this under the rug. You know why? Because that's what they do. But to your point about the national media stepping into this, look, we've been talking about this story for years, and we've been waiting. You know, I've been asked a million times by Ohio State fans, when is the national media going to step into this one? And, you know, I really wonder, had Sharon Moore not gone off the deep end, not kicked in the door, threatened her life, threatened to kill himself, where the story would be, or heaven forbid, had Ohio State lost for a 5th straight year to Michigan, this story would have never seen the light of day. But Thank goodness your order has been restored. The world is all right now, and you've got a situation where Michigan is the laughing stock of college football, of college sports in general, and I don't think that it's ever going to go away. I don't think people will ever look at Michigan football the same way as they used to. I think they will always be known as the cheaters. And I'd love to hear Jay's perspective on that, because it's one thing for an Ohio State fan to say that, but do people in the SEC see that program up there is just totally morally bankrupt and corrupt?
I don't think we've ever seen anything quite like it. It really is. It blows my mind. And the disparaging remark that a running back wouldn't be heavily involved with used vacuum cleaners upsets me. I can't believe you brought that up, Devin. I mean, I know that I sold a lot of used vacuum cleaners when I was an All-American running back. I mean, that's the most – I wish I had my clip right now of the guy running around with the vacuum like I like to throw at that. But I mean, it's just It's unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable. And if the Michigan folks up there, surely there are some people up there that care enough to really dig in, because this is your opportunity. If you're the true Michigan man and you're one of the big dogs up there and you think this is disgusting behavior, that you literally have just got – there are no words for how bad it is up there from what I've seen. And yes, the media is all over this. I saw a story in the Detroit Press today saying now's the time to clean house. Now is the time to do this. So there are people in Detroit that are saying, this is not good. We need to clean house, and they absolutely should, top to bottom, and bring in a fresh group of people that have a history of running a program correctly, and just get away from this mindset of just hire whoever is your buddy, whoever used to play at Michigan, all that kind of crap. Just bring in a clean program and insert it and let it run for a few years. And, it's going to be 10, 20 years before you get your reputation back if you do that. If you don't, it's just, it's just going to keep going like it's going.
Yeah. What I find interesting is I understand that, the whole Michigan is a top 10, right, place that coaches want to go coach and all that because of the history and the support, the financial support and stability that they had there. But now with what is going on at this program, right, in the unknown with the AD, and even beyond that, there's this active investigation going on while they're in the middle of a coaching search. There's smoke out there about other things popping up, and I'm sure that they will. It's got to be, that has to be an interesting conversation with the coach. And it makes me wonder, this is the last thing I'll bring up and we'll move on from this, but it makes me wonder, like, who's going to take this job? Like, what kind of mindset do they have to be in? What demands are they going to want to come in and completely take charge of everything? Is Michigan going to be willing to do that? It just puts me in a spot. Jay, I would ask you, before all this, what top did you consider Michigan for a coach to go, right? Like a top 5 coaching place, top 10. And has that changed for you? What category would you put them in right now where we sit?
Well, and let me ask one more question before you answer that. Is it a better job than Tennessee? Is the Michigan job a better job, in your opinion, than the Tennessee job?
They're similar as far as level. But if you take away the disaster that's going on right now, like, I would put Michigan I used to think highly of Michigan prior to all this. I thought, they're a good program. They've had success. I would have put Ohio State above them, but I would have put Tennessee at a similar level to Michigan. And I think Michigan could be a really good spot if they were run properly, because they do have big money behind them. They can compete with that money with NIL. Before NIL, I think it would have been tougher. But with NIL, having those big money, they got one huge money guy behind them, that maybe it could be a really good program. But I tell you, I have so much lack of faith in them right now that if I'm a coach, you'd have to give me assurances like you cannot believe. I'd have to know, first of all, who the crap is my boss, and it can't be Ward. And I would have to have a lot of serious input into how the program – I'd have to have total control of the program. I'd have to have total, and I'd say, okay, I'm going to fix this, but I can't have you telling me what to do. or trying to bring in your buddy that played at Michigan that is kind of a scoundrel, but you're going to put him in here as this and that and the other, and he's going to, get a job. It'd have to be tough, but no, it's a very difficult question to answer because outside of the Big Ten, Michigan's considered a pretty darn good job.
Nevada?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I think the perception of Michigan's, the desirability of Michigan is much greater than the actual reality. I think the reality of the opportunity right now is, you don't know who your boss is, and that's not going to you interim president 80 on the way out. So you have no idea who you're going to be reporting to. The roster, literally, Jay, if you said to me, Nevada, you can take anybody, you're king for a day, you can take anybody off the Michigan roster to your team. There's not a single player on their team that I would take, not one. And that's not always been the case. They've had good players. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a roster that's pretty devoid of talent right now, especially at key spots. And I think for Michigan right now, the perception of Larry Ellison's support, I've heard from a lot of people that it's kind of wavering, that that he's been involved with some of the big recruits, with Underwood, with Hyder, but they've kind of pulled back. And Larry, if you've been following his stock, he's kind of got bigger fish to fry right now with the situation kind of going on at Oracle. And so I'm not really sure. And the prima facie evidence that he's not just fire hosing money at him is their recruiting kind of sucked this year. I mean, they were out of the top 10. I think they're like 13th or something. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like they're killing it on the recruiting trail right now. So I think that combination of things, to me, as a person and trying to be unbiased, I'm not even sure if it's a top. I've got them right outside the top 50. I think it's like 15 or 16th best job in the country right now, and certainly not top 10. Certainly not even close to top 5 in my eyes. Because on top of that, they don't have any recruiting base. There's no local recruiting base up there of any note in Michigan. Very few players that get out of there, so they've got to get them all nationally. And I just don't think the job's that desirable, and that's why they're down to Kenny Dillingham or Biff Poggi in the job search right now.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about the school, I mean, Jay, you brought it up. Like one of the attributes of that school that is enticing to a coach is, right, the financial backing that they have for NIL and all that. Well, Nevada just pointed it out that, I mean, a lot of their donors are kind of in the midst of questioning right now, how far into this thing do we want to go? Like, are we going to keep throwing all this money into something that just keeps spitting back out all these scandals and everything? And so, like, the AD's up for question. There's an investigation. Donors, I mean, rightfully so, are questioning, hey, should we stick with this program or not? But we'll wait and see, man. They're in the midst of trying to find a head coach for a program in the midst of an investigation, trying to put out other fires from coming about from this thing as well, because you got to be careful with Sharon Moore. He knows where every single body is buried, every one of them. So you got to be real careful when you do this. Nevada or Jay, any final thoughts on this before we move on to real football talk here? Real football issues, I would say.
Not for me. I think you've covered it. I've watched y'all a lot. I know y'all have covered it big time. I don't really know I'm so shocked that it's gotten this bad that it's kind of hard I don't really know where to go with it. It's like, I'm just waiting to see what's going to hit next, because I'm sure there's going to be more crap come out.
Oh, yeah, there will be. Nevada, any final thoughts on the old Michigan stuff going on?
Yeah, well, the Quorum LLC stuff is obviously that's the next big one to drop. And you've got a couple of hound dogs, some of the best investigative reporters in the world that are digging on that one. And if that one breaks, then just no telling how much mayhem's going to happen at that point. But yeah, that's the next big one to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, so next thing we're going to talk about old Jim Knowles, man. Jim Knowles coming from Oklahoma State. Obviously, us Buckeye fans very familiar with Jim Knowles. Went on to Penn State. We know what happened there. unlike Michigan in search for a head coach trying to keep the program together, a lot of other programs around the nation at this time of year make decisions, get rid of coordinators, replace those coordinators. And there was a lot of teams this year that were in the market for head coaches, for coordinators, for all kind of things. It was a really wild year. I can't remember one quite like it. I mean, I'm sure somebody can bring one up, but I can't. So before I ask, I've given my take on Jim Knowles. I'll give it again. But, Jay, I want to get your opinion, man. Jim Knowles coming to Tennessee. Give me your thoughts when you heard his name pop up and your thoughts when he got hired and what you think you're going to see from him.
Well, I just thought it was a good name. You know, obviously he's had success where he's been at places. And I wasn't surprised when you said it would probably take time, because I had heard that he's a guy that his defense takes some time to develop with the players. So that didn't shock me, but it's, you know, I'm not looking for an instant. I don't think Tennessee's looking for instant results, but they would like to see us at least be in the top 30 or 40 in defense the first year, as opposed to 86th, which is where we were this year. It was such a drop off from the year before. And I've already said it. We got to go in the portal and get some defensive players bad. We have to. Mm-hmm. Offense, we're fine. But defense, we badly need some players.
Yeah, I mean, that was the conversation at Ohio State a lot of people had with Jim Knowles. I mean, look at the players he had here. I mean, the draft's the thing that you kind of measure that on. It lies sometimes, but not all the time. The amount of talent Jim Knowles had here at Ohio State, I think, really helped his cause. But Nevada, let the Tennessee fans know your thoughts. Do you think Tennessee made the right choice in hiring Jim Knowles? Where are you at? If I remember correctly, you're a pretty big fan of Jim Knowles.
I think it's a home run hire. I think it's a really good hire for Tennessee. And, I think Jim, look, Jim took over a defense that was similarly ranked to where Tennessee's was and brought him up to number one in 2 years. And, he may not be able to do that with the level of talent at Tennessee. He may not be quite that, but I think he's a heck of a coach and certainly experienced, been successful everywhere he's been. And I like Jim. I'm a big fan, and I think the circumstances of his move to Penn State, look, it worked out best for everybody. He went on, got the bag at Penn State, and we ended up with Matt Patricia. So I think we did okay, but Penn State did okay, and I really think Tennessee got a gem in Jim Knowles. So I'm excited about that hire, and I'll be rooting for him to do well. I like Jim Knowles. And I'll always, anybody who brings us a national championship, look, there's only been 4 national championships in my lifetime. And the fact that Jim Knowles was part of one of them, I'm thrilled, and we'll be forever grateful for that.
And I'm going to clip the hell out of this one.
I'm telling you,
big time.
He'll improve Tennessee's defense. There's no question about it.
We want to hear.
Yeah, he will. He'll do well.
Yeah, I feel like when I gave my take, I went through and read some comments. Most people took it very negatively, and probably rightfully so. I mean, I was just kind of breaking down my thoughts on it, but ultimately I said, hey, I would be excited about that hire. Just be prepared. I was getting questions like, hey, is he going to help with recruiting? I saw some Tennessee fans on Twitter pull up some Ohio State recruits that were landed. And, I know that Jim Knowles didn't have anything to do with that, but from a DC perspective, it might take some time, but ultimately dude had the top, the last 2 years at Ohio State had a top 10 defense in the nation, and you can win national titles with top 10 defenses. So I love that. That's not the only, right? You guys, you got our defensive coordinator right now, but here recently there was a little bit of drama in the recruiting world. We've covered it a lot over here. Jay, I'm sure you've covered it a little bit. I know I emailed you back and forth a little bit on it, but that's the Legend Bay saga, right? So I think a lot of people, without starting from the beginning and going over the details, being the Tennessee guy, Jay, give me your take of the way that played out from the Tennessee perspective. How are you feeling about the whole thing? Obviously, we know how it ended, but before you knew how it ended, where were your thoughts at on that entire, process?
Well, it really didn't make any sense to me. None of us thought that he was going to sign or recommit or whatever and sign with Tennessee because, you saw his table. My God, it was all red and black and said Ohio State on it. That's like, what are we talking about here? So when he signed, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. None of this makes any sense. And then it turned out that his mother had obviously pressured him into it. And I tell you what happened in Knoxville and the whole Vol Nation. We immediately recoiled from that. And it's not because of Legend Bay and it's not because of Ohio State. We have just been through Nico Iamaleava, okay, and his father, and that the whole parent and the whole deal. Then no, we weren't done. We went through the Boo Carter situation with Mama Boo and all of that. Both of those things worked out very badly for us and cost us a lot of money, and we got very little on the field. And it was just like, you know what? I hope Legend has a great career at Ohio State. I'm sure he will. But to spend a bunch of money on a freshman who's going to probably be an offensive player, we need to spend money on defense. So for me, he clearly wants to play at Ohio State. So why in God's green earth would you have him play anywhere else? He's literally walking around with an Ohio State on. He's just a walking billboard for you guys. So let the kid play where he wants to play, number one. Number two, we're spending money in the wrong place on that. Take that money, put it on a safety or a defensive back that can make a big difference. That's a junior, because we need help now. So that's my position on it. And that's the position of most people in Vol Nation. They're like, number one, the kid ought to go where he wants to go. That's number one. Number two, we've already dealt with this. And number three, let's spend some money on defense. So I don't think anybody's upset or angry or pissed off at Ohio State on this. Y'all didn't do anything underhanded at all. Y'all just were sitting there going, hey, this is a great place for a wide receiver. Here we are. So that's our position.
Nevada.
So what do you make of the whole mom going to Knoxville the week before signing day? And what have you been able to ascertain as to what was her affinity with Tennessee? Because they live in Texas, so it's not like he's the hometown kid from Knoxville and she grew up in Volta. Is there anything to the backstory that I'm just missing? Because from our standpoint, it was just so weird that she was just so locked into Tennessee for whatever reason, and none of us could quite figure out what that reason really was.
I'll bet if I had to guess, Tennessee probably offered him more money than Ohio State did, because y'all are kind of known for being wide receiver you. And I would guess your position is, we're going to pay you, but you're getting more coming here than you are anywhere else, because you can wind up in the NFL very easily here. That's just been the reality of things. So I would say we offered more money, just like we did with David Sanders, because, he almost went to Ohio State, the offensive tackle.
Yep.
And I'll bet you we were offering more money. And the mother probably is like, hey, that's going to come in handy. And that would be a good thing for us. And I would think it's something along those lines, because, if you go up against Ohio State for certain positions, you're going to have to pay more. And everybody kind of knows that. So I would guess that's what it was.
Interesting. Now, what you brought up David Sanders, so I just got to ask, how's David Sanders worked out for you guys? Is he everything you thought he was going to be and more, or where's he at?
He's been pretty good, I think. He's had a couple of brain farts that every freshman would have, but he's a super talented guy. Look, you're only going to get so much out of a freshman. He played a lot, especially after he had that initial injury. So I think we're going to be happy with him, but it's tough when you put that amount of money into a freshman. You're only going to get so much from them. That's going to be their worst year. First of all, that's going to be their worst year that they're there, number one. And number two, you're paying a lot of money. So I think he was trying to make Nico happy. I think that was trying to make Nick and Nico happy. Look, we've got the number one offensive tackle. Now you've got a 5-star left tackle, 5-star right tackle. Are you happy, Nico? No, I want $4 million. Okay, well then go to UCLA and get 1.5 and pay 14% state sales tax, knucklehead.
Oh man.
So he cost himself $2.5 million. Genius! What a genius!
Yeah, that was bad.
And we got Joey, and that's fine. We're fine with Joey.
I was going to say, I think you guys upgraded for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been curious. I've always been curious about that with these teams that go out and spend a lot of money on 5-star tackles, because it's like, what if David Sanders would have had a really good season? What do you think he's going to do? Right? He's going to most likely ask for more money when he does that. So obviously there's different ways to build a roster, but you keep bringing up, when you brought up the Legend Bay thing, you say, take that money, right? Go put it towards a junior, right? On defense, one that can help us right now. So I do want to get your take on that, because Tennessee seems like, obviously they did it with David Sanders. What's your take on that as a fan? When you see your team do that, is that something you agree with? Is that something you wish they maybe would have spent a little less there, or they would have took that money and went after a big time tackle in the portal? Or do you like them securing these 5-star tackles at, whatever cost it might take, because they have the chance of being in your program for a while?
I like what Indiana's done. They've taken a team that's got like a 10% blue chip ratio and went in the portal and spent $15 million and got some kids that can freaking play and changed their entire atmosphere, their entire program, and hired a great head coach. I love what they're doing. And it's the same thing Lane Kiffin did at Ole Miss. I like leaning on the portal a little bit more and paying for what you're getting and getting it immediately, as opposed to bringing in somebody who might be good one day, because you're tying up a lot of money for somebody that, like that kid up there at Bryce Underwood. They're paying that guy $11 million to come up there, and he doesn't throw it so well. He throws it 100 miles per hour and you're 10 feet away from him. And where's the touch? There's no touch.
Yeah.
No,
So
I'm
more of a portal guy right now. I've seen Indiana, I've seen Ole Miss, I've seen some programs really work with it. Now I've seen some fail too, like North Carolina. So
that might have been the smoothest live jab I've ever seen. Hey, I'm on Ohio State pod. Let me bring up Indiana real fast. Got us. You got us, Jay.
Dude, y'all have beaten them 31 years in a row. For God's sakes, that's not even right. It's not fair. Y'all, it's not good for the Big Ten to have a team get beat 31 years in a row. Y'all have got to admit that's not good for your conference. It's not. I mean, you've got to have teams that can at least show up and give y'all a fight.
Yeah. Nevada, you got anything on the jab that Jay just threw at us, or no?
I didn't think of it as a jab, but
I'm messing with you, Jay.
Honestly, I really thought. I thought before the game. I said it before the game. I think after the game, I think the best thing that could happen to Ohio State before a 3-week layoff is a loss like that. Just gives a chance to refocus, be pissed off. J.J. Smith gets overlooked for the Blitnikoff. Julian gets disrespected at the Heisman. Arvell gets left off the all. Doesn't get the Nagurski. I think it was great. I love them getting all the accolades. Signetti gets the Coach of the Year 2nd year in a row. They're eating the cheese, and I actually saw a report that Signetti's a candidate for the New York Giants job, which would really. You think about the craziness, man. What if Signetti all of a sudden bolted IU and went to the Giants? Now that would be craziness on top of craziness. So I'm just feel blessed that we have Ryan Day, that he's young and he's at Ohio State for now, because I know it's not going to be forever. So I'm going to enjoy every year that he's here, because when that ends, it's going to make me sad.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think it was a good thing that you lost. Look at last year. Hell, it totally changed your trajectory completely. I couldn't agree more.
Well, Jay, our trajectory changed when your guys came out without the shirts on with the tiger balm out.
I knew that was coming. Hey, let me tell you something. We regret nothing. We regret nothing. That was the funnest week. That was the funnest week leading up to that. We were going to come and get your damn goalpost, throw them in the river, and we had so much freaking fun that week. I can't even begin to tell you, and we regret none of it.
Bro, you guys did one of the best troll jobs I've ever seen. Whoever went into some app and changed the stadium name to Neiman Stadium, and I was like, hey, I got to give him credit, dude. That Whoever did that, you got us. That was a good one.
Dude,
I like
Vol
that
Twitter.
one.
I'm telling you, Vol Twitter, there are no equals to that group. they're nuts. They're nuts. I'm telling you, I deal with them. They're nuts. And they love
before we get into this playoff bracket, I'm just curious. I love to get the insight from other fan bases, Jay. So I know here at Ohio State, we get spoiled. We complain about things all the time. And, I know how some other fan bases look at us. I understand how I can look from the outside. But you being a Tennessee fan, this isn't – I'm not throwing any jabs here. You guys didn't make it into playoffs this year. Number one, what were your expectations this year? And number two, what are like your yearly expectations at Tennessee? Like what needs to happen for you guys to feel like you have succeeded in that season?
Probably making the playoff every other year is probably where we're at, honestly. I figured 8-4 this year going into it would be pretty good. And then Joey was playing so much better and we had Georgia beat. I was like, oh my God, we're going to make the playoff again. But I didn't realize our defense was going to be so crappy. I mean, we wound up having an awful defense. We were probably fortunate to go 8-4. Our defense carried us the whole year, scoring 40 points a game. But yeah, that's probably it. And look, I've been bitching about this for weeks. We're going to 9 games, and I know that seems like not that. It's a huge deal in the SEC. I did a whole video today about blue chip ratio and all of that, and I'm telling you, we're going to beat the crap out of each other. And Kirby Smart is madder than a wet hornet about it. And he's at the highest blue chip ratio. He and Ohio State, Georgia and Ohio State are tied for number 1 in a blue chip ratio. And then Alabama's right behind, 1% behind. And he's madder than crap about this 9 games because he's like, we're not going to have any players left by the time we play in Ohio State. It's like we're all going to be hurt. So, yeah, every other year I'd be happy, very happy.
Yeah.
Now, who was your Week 11 opponent? Like, did you have Kennesaw State or was it Mercer or Old Dominion or something like that?
We usually have 3 easy games, super just nothing games, and then we play 1 Power 4 and 8 SEC. So we normally will play a Kennesaw State or the Fighting Possums or whoever, and that's normally, and you need that to rest your players, get a win, because you're getting ready to have to play somebody that's got a 50% blue chip ratio. That I'm a big proponent of that. That matters a lot because you might have a team like South Carolina or Auburn that was 4-8, and they've got just as much talent as you do. They're sitting there at a 53% blue chip ratio. They're loaded with 4 and 5 stars, and they're going to kick your butt if you're not ready for them. You can't take them. You can't take it easy on them. So it's 9th game is going to make I can promise you this: Ohio State will be in the playoff every year from now on, guaranteed. They probably would have anyway, but now it's guaranteed because we're going to lose 2 teams out of the playoff every year because of the 9 games.
I think the SEC, when they used to schedule the Week 11, like I'd see Alabama playing Mercer or something like that in Week 11 before their big rivalry game. And I used to think that was the smartest thing in the world because like Ohio State, we're playing Texas in the out-of-conference games. We've got Alabama coming up. We've got Georgia. And I'm like, why are we doing this, man? I've always thought the SEC had a huge advantage, but it was smart. I think the SEC was smarter at the scheduling game, smarter at oversigning, smarter at hiring analysts, smarter at gray shirting and red shirting and medical exemption. I mean, they've just always been smarter than the Big Ten, and that's why they win. And now that you guys you go to 9 conferences, that's going to be a big change. That's going to be a big change for the SEC for sure, and that's going to be a big adjustment for you guys.
Yeah, more Big Ten teams will get in. You can count on that. It's our commissioner Greg Sankey. He is not a popular dude, and your Tony Petitti got you a better TV rights. I mean, Tony's just running circles around our freaking commissioner. It's
funny. I tell you, if you ask Big Ten fans, they give you exactly the opposite take. They feel like Sankey is the 10,000-pound gorilla and Petitti is a chump. So it's funny how the perceptions. Don't you agree with that, Devin? People don't like Tony Petitti, certainly around Ohio State. That's for sure.
Yeah, this is one of the topics I've never really talked about. Didn't plan on talk about it, but I'm intrigued now. It's Jay, because I've heard you talk about the SEC versus the Big Ten, and I'm going to be honest, the video you did this year, I tended to agree with it. And, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I sum it up, if I remember correctly, you kind of said, hey, at the top, the Big Ten is right there with the SEC. It's when you get to the bottom that things start to go astray. Your guys' bottom in the SEC would destroy the Big Ten bottom teams. Is that along the lines of kind of what you were getting at, give or take a few things? And I bring that up because I went that route. Like I without prepping or diving into a lot of things there, I felt like that was an accurate thing to say. And I'm really curious, Nevada, your thoughts on that in sports talk. Or I don't know why I always want to say that, man. Jay, if you want to add anything to that. It's an interesting conversation, man. A lot of people get heated about, but I just, I love hearing people's takes on it.
I've taken a ton of grief over that. The video, they're already mad at. I had some people unsubscribe. I'll never watch a video from you again. Oh yeah, I've taken it over the top of the head on that. I knew I would too. I said it right before I did that video today. I said, I know what's going to happen when this video hits. But all I did was make the blue chip. Look, Purdue, Northwestern, and Rutgers, they're at 1%, and two of them are at 3% blue chip ratio. They basically have no 4 stars and 5 stars. They might have 1 or 2. Whereas Ohio State will have 70 plus 4 and 5 stars. There is no way in God's green earth Rutgers, Northwestern, or Purdue could ever beat Ohio State currently. It's not going to happen. You would have to have 5 fumbles. Ryan Day would have to broken his leg and be stuck in the locker room all day. And I don't know what else would have to happen, a torrential rainstorm for them to even be in the game in the fourth quarter. And that's just a fact. That's why y'all are favored by 31 points every game against those teams.
Okay, so who is the SEC's Purdue?
Vanderbilt. But
that's like, what about Indiana, though?
Indiana has got an 8% blue chip, but the blue chip doesn't take into account transfer portal. So what they did, they said, we're at 8%. We suck. But we're going to go spend $15 million in the portal and add that to our team and have a great coach. And all of a sudden, they're terrific because they don't have a bunch of 5 stars sitting on the bench that are freshmen and sophomore. They got a bunch of 3 and 4 stars, probably 3 stars that have been playing for 4 years and that have started for teams and brought them in there. And they got all these veterans who can freaking tee it up. And they brought in a good quarterback that they got out of the portal. And that's why you can come back before the NIL, Indiana was going to be a cellar dweller forever. NIL has changed that. And it's great for the Big Ten. Y'all need more parity in the Big Ten. It is not good for your team to be favored by 31.5 in an in-conference game on a regular basis. That's not good for the Big Ten. That's why you're not getting as much viewership as the SEC does. We have knockdown dragouts every week constantly, whereas a lot of your games they're yawn fest because you're up by 5 touchdowns in the third and fourth quarter and your best players are sitting on the bench because what's the point? It's that Indiana game against you guys in the Big Ten was awesome. That was such a fantastic game to view. Depending on it didn't matter who you were rooting for either. It was just a great freaking game. Y'all need more of that. You need more of that in the Big Ten.
Nevada?
Oh, look, I mean, I've always said that if Ohio State played in the any of the team, the SEC is tougher than the Big Ten. It just is. It's a tougher conference. When you look at the schedules, I look at some of the schedules in the SEC are just obscene. They're just like, there's just no easy games. There's none of the freebies. Even the bad teams in the SEC, when they're at home, can be dangerous. I mean, you talk about the Vanderbilts being, used to be the doormats. Vanderbilt's not a doormat anymore. Vanderbilt can beat some people. So, I agree. I think the Big Ten took a huge step forward when they added USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington, because I think those were 4. Especially when you add in the whole idea of the West Coast trip They're on, so I think there's a lot of dimensions that go on, to playing a schedule in the Big Ten that you don't get in the SEC. The 3 time zones, the national conference, as opposed to more of a regional Southern-based conference. But just in terms of toughness, there's no compare. There's no rational person that can look at the schedules and say it's harder to play in the Big Ten than it is in the SEC, because that's just silly.
All right, here we go. That being said, these past couple years, the Big Ten has stepped its game up and walked away with, well, no, I don't even want to say that, man. Last year, the Big Ten won the national title. I don't know that 23, we can't really, that's a void. The 23 did not exist for the Big. There was no national championship that time. That's unfortunate. But this year, let me get this thing pulled up, guys, and let's get our thoughts. I'm going to see how this thing handles it. Oh, it blocks Nevada out. That's all right. You can't see him anyway. So here we go. Playoffs. Last year, they changed the seeding for this year, right? The first round of the games last year seemed to be mostly blowouts, but they changed the seeding around, and this is what we're dealing with now. We're dealing with JMU and Oregon, and Tulane and Ole Miss and some of these other games. So let's walk through this thing, guys, and you guys prepared to make your picks and pick who's going to win the national title tonight? You guys ready to do that? Because Alabama, Oklahoma play tomorrow, correct?
Yes,
that's correct.
So this is the last day, man. All right, let's start here. JMU, Oregon. I have JMU walking out of this one with the dub. I don't. I got Oregon winning. I got Oregon winning this one. They're starting their game at 9 a.m. because it's going to be over by 9:15. All right, so everybody can go back home, get a nice little nap in. Nevada, what say you?
Yeah, no, I mean, Oregon's obviously going to kill them. That's one of those gimme games. But Oregon's going to be a dangerous opponent throughout the playoff. But yeah, they definitely win that game.
Yeah, Jay,
I cannot believe that's not Notre Dame right there.
Yep.
How is that not Notre Dame playing Oregon? How is that not BYU playing Oregon or Vandy? And we got damn Smuckers, James Smuckers, whatever the crap, whatever the hell that college is, the charity event. And we got 2 of them in there. And I'm sitting here going, you got to be kidding me. It kills me the way they set this up. Oregon will just push them around and play with them, and that'll be it. But Notre Dame should be in there.
Well, Oregon's going to get to rest their starters. I mean, they're not supposed to have a bye week, but they got a freaking bye week somehow. So, yeah, again, they're working on this thing. They're getting there. We'll be at 16 teams or 20 teams or something here before too long, and hopefully some of these other teams will get in here. But the most intriguing one outside of the one that matters for us, Alabama, Oklahoma. Jay, we're going to start with you, man. Who you got winning this game? I think this one's going to be a very interesting game.
I can't wait for this ball game. This is going to be a knockdown, drag out, skull dragging, just freaking fight. I can't wait for it. And this could affect Ohio State, because I can tell you Michigan's not giving up on Kalen DeBoer. They're holding off. They want to see what happens this game, because if Oklahoma beats Alabama, you guys may or may not understand how Alabama fans are. They are quick to lose their minds over crap like this. And I wouldn't be shocked at all if Kalen DeBoer is like, you know what? I'm tired of the Mayflower truck showing up at my house every time I lose a ball game, and having Legend over on the Paul Feinbaum show going crazy, screaming about what a piece of crap I am. And I'm telling you, those Alabama folks, they're worse than Ohio State fans when it comes to being spoiled about winning. And I saw everybody's wanting to fire Ryan Day, and I'm sitting here going, the guy's winning at 89%, and you want to fire him? What the hell are you talking about? It's crazy. And there was people wanted to fire Ryan Day. And the guy wins the national title that year, and I'm sitting here going, that doesn't shock me. The guy was winning 90% of his games, and you were ready to fire his ass. And Alabama's worse. They're worse than Ohio State when it comes to that. Don't be shocked if Kalen DeBoer doesn't wind up at Michigan in some freak event if they lose that ball game. So there's my conspiracy for you.
Nevada.
I didn't hear a pick though. I didn't hear a pick. I heard an entire
Oh,
yeah,
scenario
yeah, yeah.
out of that. I did not hear a pick.
I'm going to pick Oklahoma because I think Alabama's quarterback, he looked nervous to me. He's not playing like he did the first of the season. They've had a lot of injuries. Oklahoma's offense is not good. It's pretty much John Mateer, but their defense is great. It's at Oklahoma, which is huge. I'm taking Oklahoma.
I'm going to go with Bama. I think Bama's been hearing the they don't belong stuff the whole time and how they got lucky to be in there. And I like that angle in the game, even though the home field advantage for Oklahoma is going to be something. I agree. It's going to be a heck of a game. I'm going to say Bama's going to pull out a close one.
Yeah, I'm going with Jay on this one, man. I got Oklahoma. Their defense pretty lights out, and Alabama, well, the way they looked in Georgia against Georgia's defense, Oklahoma's got a pretty good defense as well. So here we go. Ole Miss, Tulane, aren't both their coaches? Are they even no, one of them's not. One of them's gone. The other one's gone, but sticking around. So this is how the playoffs are these days. You got two teams without head coaches. One of them it's pretty wild. I'm taking Ole Miss here. They've already played once, dominated them. Nevada, who you taking here?
Yeah, I think Ole Miss, even a distracted Ole Miss team's gonna wallop Tulane.
Yeah, Jay.
It's at Ole Miss. So yeah, they already beat them by 35. So shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. All right, here we go, Buckeye fans. Miami, Texas A&M. Jay, we will start with you on this one.
Y'all want Miami to win this game. Texas A&M will be a tougher battle for you. They're almost as talented as you are. They're not quite as talented as Ohio State, but they're in the ballpark. And you never know what you're going to get with Marcel Reed. If he plays great, he can be very difficult to deal with because he can run, but he can also throw a lot of interceptions. I think A&M will win this game, but if Marcel Reed turns into a pumpkin, then Miami might sneak through. You're going to want to play. You'd prefer to play Miami. You could probably beat both these teams, but it'd be tougher against A&M because they can match you in talent almost.
Nevada?
I think A&M's going to win the game. I think Beck will probably turn the ball over 3 times in the game, and I got A&M. I just think A&M's better than Miami.
Yeah, I got A&M winning as well, but I am one of those people, Jay, that you'll probably look at and think that I'm crazy. I know Nevada does, and I think the rest of my brothers at Scoop when I say I would rather play A&M. Not the show to get into that, but that's just me. I look at red zone defenses here. Miami's tends to be pretty good. Texas A&M's is not very good, along with a lot of other things. Jay, did you pick A&M too? I didn't quite.
I'm taking A&M.
Okay, I got you.
I got so busy rambling there, I didn't make a pick.
I didn't think so. I was like, this guy not pick again. But all right, back at the top, man. We got, I think everybody picked Oregon here. Oregon, Texas Tech. I'm taking the Ducks in this one, even though Texas Tech, very good defense, very good team. I think this could be closer. A pretty knockout game. Nevada, what say you?
Yeah, I think Oregon's going to beat them. I think Oregon's a sleeping giant in this tournament. And I watched Tech play like 3 times this year, and I wasn't – they're good, but I don't think they're at Oregon's level. So I think Oregon's going to take them.
Jay?
Oregon against Texas Tech. I'm going to pick Tech. I'm going to pick Tech.
Ooh, okay.
I think there's something about them. They're very dangerous, and I'm not sold completely on Oregon, so I'm going to take Tech.
Okay, all right. On to the next one, Jay. Me and you got Oklahoma here against Indiana. We'll let you start this one off, Jay. Oklahoma, Indiana. Who's walking away with the dub?
Yeah, I'm taking Indiana on this one. I just think they're an overall really good club. And I don't think Oklahoma's going to score a whole lot on Indiana, so I would pick Indiana.
Gotcha. Nevada, you got Alabama in this one, Indiana or Alabama?
I'm telling you, either Oklahoma or Alabama, I've got either one of them upsetting Indiana. I think Indiana goes out in the first round this year.
Oh, dang. Okay,
Yep.
okay. It's getting. I'm trying to mentally remember everybody's picks. Make sure you guys remember your picks. I'm getting a little confused now, man. I got Indiana here. Let's go down. Everybody picked Ole Miss, Georgia. Georgia coming into form a little bit more than at the beginning of the year. Not a lot of offense, but they seem to get it together a little bit for the SEC title game there. But I got Georgia walking away with this one. I think they're one of the scarier teams in these playoffs. Jay?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Georgia on Kirby Smart in the playoffs. Nobody gets his team as prepared as that guy. He's a psychopath. I've just seen it too many times. He'll have them ready. Georgia.
Real fast, we got to know the answer to this, man. One of our listeners says he can tell by your demeanor, Jay, that you were happy. You were happy when Indiana beat Ohio State. I just got to know. And it's fine if you were.
I always like the underdog. I like the underdog, especially when you had 30. When they said that they hadn't beaten you on 31 years, I'm going to root for that team.
Gotcha.
I'm an underdog guy. It's obscene when a team dominates like that. I can't take it.
Hey, I don't hate you for that, man. Nevada, did you pick pick Ole Miss, Georgia yet? You haven't done that yet, right? I know you're going to pick.
Georgia's going to dog walk those guys.
All right. We got Ohio State and A&M down here. Jay, I think you're the only one that needs to pick here. I could be wrong. I mean, I got the Buckeyes walking away here, but interested to hear your take, Jay.
Yeah, I think if it's I think they can beat either club. So, yeah, I'm going to take Ohio State without too much trouble. I'm a little bit ticked off that Georgia is not in the other bracket and that we're not seeing Georgia, Ohio State in the final. That's what I think would be where it should be. I don't like them seeing each other in the semis like that.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Nevada, you taking the good guys, right? Or do you want to upset the apple cart here and lose some subscribers? What do you want to do?
Yeah, no, I honestly, I mean, I said it before the game. I think that a ticked off Ohio State team is a very dangerous team in the playoff. And I love where we're sitting right now with the way everything went down. And so, yeah, we're definitely going to get through. We'll see Georgia in the semis for sure.
All right. Let's see if I can magically get this one right here. Jay, let's start with you. You got Tech in Indiana. Which one is going to the semifinals?
I'll probably take Indiana, I think. They've been good enough this year. They've come through. They passed the test. Texas Tech, I think, will give them a game, but I think Indiana pulls it off probably in the fourth quarter. Probably a close game.
Okay, gotcha. Nevada, you have Oregon and Alabama. That's right. Who you got? Is that right? Yeah, that is. Well, apparently it wasn't right, Jay. Nevada just left. He just left the show altogether. So we'll come back to him on that one. No, wait, here he is. Bring him back up. Every once in a while, Jay, he leaves, gets him a little bite to eat, comes back in, but now we can't see Jay.
Uh-oh.
Hold on, here we go. Let me do this.
Oh, no.
I got it fixed. There we go.
Okay, there we go.
All right, Nevada, we were on you with Oregon, Alabama. Who's taking that one home?
Oregon will beat them. Oregon, it's going to be, it's I'm not going to tip my hand, but it's going to be Oregon in the final.
Yeah. I'm there with you, man. I got Oregon beating Indiana in this game. Let's go down to the next one. Georgia and Ohio State. Jay, what are you going to do to us Ohio State fans here on the Ohio State YouTube show, man? What are you going to do, bro?
I know. This should be the national title game because whoever wins this is going to win. I'll just go ahead and tell you, whoever wins this game is going to win. And, oh, man, I sit here and I know you replaced your defensive coordinator quite well this year, obviously, and you lost your offensive coordinator in Chip Kelly. And that team was crazy there at the end. The question is, can your offense be crazy again? right after losing that game might be, like I said, what Nevada Buck said might be the very best thing that could happen to you. Boy, I got to go with Kirby. I'm going to go with Kirby on this one. In a super tight game, 3-point game in the fourth quarter, and just hangs on somehow. And I think it's going to be King Kong versus Godzilla. I think it's going to be the game of the year. It just feels like a knockdown drag out to me.
Yeah. I like your take, man. I think this should be the national title game as well. I'm upset Georgia's not up in the other bracket either. I heard an Ohio State alum pick Georgia in this very game today. I'm sticking with the Buckeyes, man. Got to get our get back after that takeaway targeting call on Marvin. We got some get back, and that Indiana loss, we saw what a couple losses did last year to our offense. Our offense looked completely different in the playoffs. But Jay, you brought up a good point, man. Our offense does need to step it up. If we're going to win a national title, our offense has to look different than it did all in the regular season. Nevada, who you got here? Georgia, Ohio State.
Yeah, I think we're going to beat them strictly because I think their quarterback is just okay. I think he's good, but I don't think he's the level. I love their running backs. I love their defense. I love a lot of things about Georgia's team. I just like saying over Stockdale better. I just think that, Gunnar Stockdale's been like 76 in the country in QBR. I think there's levels, and I think that Georgia's not getting enough out of the quarterback position to win the national championship. So I've got Ohio State. I think it's going to be a heck of a game, but I've got Ohio State prevailing.
I got you. All right, I'll get my pick out of the way, man. I got Ohio State and Oregon in the national title game, and I got the Buckeyes repeating here. First time in program history. Ryan Day, the winningest current coach. I don't even think current anymore. The winningest coach in college football history, getting the first repeat for Ohio State. Let's go with Nevada. You have Ohio State and Oregon as well. Who you got winning this one?
Yeah, I've got an all Big Ten final. I've got Ohio State winning in an all Big Ten final, and I'm on the prediction markets right now, which the prediction markets are kind of fun because I've always gone through the betting, but prediction markets, you can bet, will it be an all Big Ten final? And you can get odds on that. There's all sorts of different odds that you can get, but will a Big Ten team win the national championship? I think it's like 53%, which I think seems that's a pretty good bet, because you've got a lot of bites at the apple in terms of that. But I'm going to go with Ohio State prevailing over Oregon in a rematch of the 2014 game.
I got you. Jay, you got Indiana, Georgia in the national title game, man. Who's going to walk away with this one? Big Ten, SEC, which one we going here?
I think Kirby gets his third national title this year. I think he ekes it out. I would not be tore up if Indiana, the underdog, just ran the table for the whole damn year and won it. And Kurt Signetti wins the national. There's just something about a team that has been downtrodden for so long to somehow wind up winning the Big Ten and then win a national title that would not upset me. But I think Georgia would beat them. So I'm going Georgia.
I got you. Well, Jay, we've kept you on long enough.
No, hold on. I just want to say one thing to Jay. If it's an IU Georgia game, I am wearing the Georgia Bulldog hat. I am going there. I am not rooting for you. The Indiana fans, you'd think there'd be a little humility after years of just getting down. They are the worst bunch of fans in the world. And I'm just telling you, if it's IU versus Georgia, I am Kirby Smart all the way. I'm waving the flag. I'm doing the dog bones. I'm in the whole thing. So I'm SEC all the way that day if that's what the game ends up being.
See, that's familiarity breeds resentment, is what that is. That's from being too close to them.
I love it, man. Like I said, it's time for Super Chats. We kept you on long enough. We do have one, right, directed towards you, so we'll do this one. Susan Buckeye, thanks for the $5. Shout out to Sports Talk Jay. I watch him almost as much as I watch Buckeye Scoop. OHJ.
I appreciate that, Susan.
Oh, okay. He didn't do that.
what was I supposed to do?
Come on, you got to answer with an I-O.
Well, I haven't watched that much. I've watched a lot of Buckeye Scoop, but I didn't know there was an OH and then an
I-O. It's kind of like when the Vols fans go, Rocky Top. You go, Rocky Top.
Oh my God,
you'll always be home, sweet home to me. Right?
I love that you guys you call them Vols. I love that.
Please tell me about that. I read that in the comments after the show.
Yeah,
people were drilling me for that.
Everybody calls it Vols outside of Vol Nation. They call it, well, SEC people know it's Vols, but y'all call it Vols. I didn't correct you because I knew you'd get hammered in the comments. I thought,
dang, bro.
I wasn't going to correct you. I think it's funny. I like it. When I had a Florida guy, and he would call it Vols just he thought it would piss everybody off.
Well, I say home. Wait, no, that's how you pronounce it. I pronounce things a little bit differently, but yeah, when I was reading that comment section, I was like, dude, I went back and listened to the show and listened to me say that. And I'm like, I thought it was Vols. It's Vols.
But in that
Vols,
that little thing, just like our stadium is Neyland, but if you call it Nayland, they lose their minds. When I first started doing my channel, I called it Nayland. I called it Nayland my entire life. In the first 6 months, I was like, if I don't learn Neyland, I'm going to have to quit my channel. Every time there'd be 10 comments, it's Neyland, and they'd put Knee and then a big dash. Little things drive people crazy. But
it's Vols, like volunteer. Vols.
Yeah.
Vols.
Just like that. Like volunteer. Just put
Volunteers.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not the Vols. It's the Vols.
Not the Vols. But I was going to let it go forever because I always liked I like it when people mispronounce it.
I can't believe that whole time, man. You were sitting there listening to me say that, and like, man, I can't wait to read these comments.
I'm a nice person too. I'm also a nice person.
Very nice person.
For sure. All right, Jay. Hey, seriously, man, appreciate you, bro. Hopefully we can keep this thing up, man. Get some good show ideas from the audience, man. You ever want either of us on over there, do a little show, man, hit us up. You're becoming more and more like family, man. It's I'm watching your show more often now. It's no wonder you got 40,000 subscribers now, huh?
Yeah, I'm
dang, bro.
It surprises me.
That's a lot. That's a lot of vols.
That's a lot of vols.
All right, Jay.
All right, guys.
I appreciate you, brother. Nevada, you got any thing for Jay?
No, I'll wear the smoky head next time if Georgia beats Ohio State. I'll do the whole thing with the smoky head on and
you'll
sing
do
Rocky
the not so fast, my friend.
Not so fast, exactly. I will do that if Georgia beats us.
All right. See you guys. Appreciate having me on.
All right, Jay. See you later. All right, Nevada. We got a couple super chats to take care of here.
Let's do it.
Let's do this. Eliza, thanks for the $10, brother. Love the t-shirt with the cross and nails. Jesus for the win. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'm very open about Jesus, radically saving my life a while ago. Jesus is everything to me, man. Nevada, anything to add to that?
Nah, that pretty much sums it up. God's number one. Go Jesus.
Amen. Toledo Geo, thanks for the $2. Can we get Biff a bro or Nancy here? Nevada?
Yeah. No, Biff needs some help. He needs some assistance. He needs some assistance. Biff is not a physical fitness freak, as you can tell, but he may be the next Michigan head coach.
I didn't know he was like an independent millionaire, like outside of coaching. Like he's wealthy outside of he just coaches because he loves football. Is that true? I heard that somewhere.
He invented the man's ear. He was the first person to have the man's ear, the man's support bra, and support. Yeah, he did that.
No wonder he's a millionaire, man. Probably sells a bunch in the state of Michigan. Anyway,
he does.
Supposedly Sharon Moore had to take his off when he was getting booked in. Anyway, Notoriety TV, thanks for the $4.99. Will Bo get a single digit next year? IGB gone after this year. What position will we use Bay? Hey, you talk about taking advantage of your $5. How about 6 questions in one chat? I love it. Is he going to compete with St. Clair for QB? Nevada, will Bo get a single digit next year?
I say yes. Bo
Okay.
will get a single digit.
Yes, IGB is gone after this year. He is out of eligibility. He's gone. I can answer that one for everybody. What position will they use Legend Bay at? Legend Bay plays quarterback in high school. People talk about, obviously, we heard Jay talking about wide receiver position. Ohio State has talked to him about the quarterback position, as well as the running back position, as well as a returner. Nevada, anything to add to that?
Being recruited by Carlos Lachlan, running back. They think he's a running back.
Is he going to compete with St. Clair for QB? Oh, Legend Bay. I think Nevada just answered that one for us. Right, Nevada?
Yeah, I think they'll give him a sniff at quarterback but I really think they really like him at running back. They like getting the ball in his hands. He is a scoreboard changer type of guy, and excited to see what he can do.
Yep. OSU, man, thanks for the $1.99. Chaz Coleman, future Buckeye. Yeah, that was big time news. Did a show on it earlier. Nevada, I shared my thoughts earlier. What's your thoughts on Chaz Coleman, man?
I've always felt that if he entered the portal, that he'd end up as a Buckeye. I don't think it's 100% done deal, but I think it's darn close to being a done deal. So he entered the portal. The defensive lineman from Penn State. I think he ends up as a Buckeye. I think this is where he wants to be, and Ohio State wants him to be here.
Yeah, he is the second highest rated player in the portal right now. You can't look at his stats from Penn State and do that, but he played quarterback in high school. Not a lot of experience at defensive end position. And what he did this year at defensive end, I would love to have him be a Buckeye. Pinky, what's up, Pinky? See you all the time in here. Thanks for the $1.99. Get Biff some Slim Fast. Yes, being healthy in your life is something I encourage everybody to do. It will change your life. 2 things will radically change your life. If you wake up tomorrow, you're not a believer, you start believing in Jesus, reading the Bible, your life will change. If you start going to the gym 5 days a week for even 30 minutes at a time, your life will radically change. And if you can drive at 300 yards, 3. And if you can drive at 300 yards on the golf course, your life will change. Nevada, anything to add?
Well, yeah. Hey, look, Lilly announced today that the Ozempic, people have to get the stuff, via injection. Their Ozempic pill is now testing as effectively as the injections. So everybody will be able to have the weight loss thing in a pill form. So Biff, get the Ozempic pill and lose some weight.
Okay. All right, y'all. Well, there's Sports Talk Jay for you. Told you we'd get him on. He's going to be coming on a little more often than normal now. I love it. Love getting perspectives from other people, right? These trolls coming up in here talking about scarlet glasses and the Michigan hate because they're the rival and all that stuff. That got put to bed tonight. It's been put to bed for a while, but just another piece of evidence to show you that. So thrilled to get him on. A lot of more content to come out of Scoop. Hit that like button. Nevada, before I get into my final little spiel here, you got anything for Buckeye Nation? I think we got one game tomorrow. Isn't just well, hold on, Nevada. Thanks for the $1.99. Will the thrill, or for the $9.99. Clap picked us, so now we are jinxed. You know he doesn't want that to happen. Scum should definitely play WWE Shawn Michaels theme song for Biff. Oh, this Biff thing is gone ham right now, Nevada. And that's not, I didn't say ham because of anything there. You got anything?
Well, yeah. I mean, hey, Michigan's got all the great theme songs. They got the Mr. Brightside theme song now, and they could do the Shawn Michael entrance music for Biff for sure. But they got to find some new music up there in Michigan because it's embarrassing.
New music and new names for their pizza. Nevada, final thoughts on the show tonight?
Yeah, no, just appreciate everybody being here. Got a huge game tomorrow in Alabama, Oklahoma. That is going to start. For me, that's got like the official kickoff of the playoff, and now we're in it, man. So let's check out these other teams. Let's see what's going on, and let's find out our opponent. Then we can start focusing on a real team to play here in a couple of weeks. So I'm excited about it.
Yep. Got football starting tomorrow, man. Don't forget, guys, you guys have been doing great. Hit that like button on your way out. hit the subscribe button as well. We on our way to 40K, largest Ohio State YouTube channel ever. You guys are a part of that, man. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, hit that like and subscribe button as well. Appreciate everybody that's done the pay it forward. There is a silent auction going on right now on the Scoop message board for a premium Cotton Bowl ticket to sit with none other than me, Nevada, Funky. I'm not quite sure who else is coming, but it's a pretty good thing. If you're not part of the Scoop message board, just another reason to go over there, man. The proceeds from that will go to pay it forward. Get over there, check that thing out. And also, we will be at that game. I will be streaming live from the parents' tailgate. So if you want to meet some Buckeye parents, hit that alert bell on the Scoop channel, and you will get to meet them. On that note, we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Go Buckeyes. OH.
I-O.